struggle, hardship, and poverty, they don't carry a passport. They exist in every single country on this planet, but so do opportunities, progress, and transformation. Now, for decades, we've been sold a very specific narrative that the streets in the global north are paved with gold. We see the curated social media posts, the brand new cars, the clean streets, and the illusion that crossing an ocean automatically upgrade your life. So people pack their bags, they leave everything behind, and they head off to grab their share of the gold. But here is the part almost nobody talks about on camera. Migration doesn't eliminate life's problems. It simply trades one set of challenges for another. And if you aren't careful, the new set can be far more brutal. So grab a cool tall glass of lemonade and make we reason, because reason we must.
The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me. Yeah.
Hello, wagwan. Pick up yourself, whether you're there yard or you're there abroad. Welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. Now, we need to register the reality check. Look at some statistics and hear some hard truths to fully understand the unspoken truth about migration and migrating to the global north. Now, let's talk about what actually happens when the plane lands. Yes, job might be more readily available in countries like the UK, Canada, or the USA, but availability doesn't equal prosperity. What people rarely mention is the structural trap. Many highly qualified migrants arrive only to find themselves severely underemployed, taking on menial jobs they would not ever dare dream of doing back home in their homeland. In fact, data from the UK's Office for National Statistics consistently shows that recent migrants often work significantly longer hours for lower hourly rates, frequently juggling 2 or 3 jobs just to cover basic survival costs. And if you do land a high-skilled corporate role, it often comes wrapped in high-stress environment, overt microaggressions, and unfair expectations. You aren't just working, you are operating in a high cortisol pressure cooker. Chronic stress, anxiety, and physical burnout become the price of admission. Or perhaps you get that high-paying salary, only to realize that the soaring cost of living, rising inflation, and an endless conveyor belt of bills swallow every single penny. According to the recent UK household budget surveys, essential expenses like rent, energy, and transport consume over 60% of an average worker's net income. So you end up feeling like a hamster on a wheel, working solely to pay for the right to keep working. So why don't we hear about this more often? Well, there are many reasons. However, we'll just suggest a few of them here. And you can add yours in the comment section as well. So firstly, we want to say because migrant struggle has become the modern family secret, a taboo. It's treated like the family member with a severe illness or an unsociable behavior that everyone quietly hides away when guests come over. When people migrate, there is immense pressure to show success. Nobody wants to call home and admit they are working 16-hour shifts, cleaning floors, or struggling with severe mental health issues and isolation. Nobody posts photos of living in overcrowded temporary housing or dealing with complex, tightening immigration rules that cost thousands of pounds just to renew a visa. Instead, people get caught up with the immediate imperative to send money back home to alleviate local scarcity, completely neglecting their own upskilling or long-term legal status. And before they know it, they wake up 5 years later in a situation far worse than the one that they left behind. It's an absolute injustice to keep quiet about this. If we care about the truth, we have to start having the honest conversation. Now let's be clear. There are people who migrate, soar to the top of their fields, build immense wealth, and truly thrive. But look closely at those people. 9 times out of 10, they were already thriving, strategic, or highly disciplined before they pack a bag. They had the aptitude, and migration simply provided a broader canvas for them to upskill and execute. When you migrate, you don't magically become a new, transformed individual at border control. Wherever you go, you take yourself with you, your mindset, your financial habits, your insecurities, and your patterns. If you had a scarcity mindset at home, you will bring that same scarcity mindset into a higher currency environment, aligning yourself with the exact same dynamics you thought you were escaping. This is why so many people who choose to stay, who look at the local landscape, identify genuine problems, build businesses, and create jobs, end up excelling far beyond those who run away looking for an easy escape. And ironically, if those very same problem solver ever do decide to migrate later on, they progress effortlessly because their foundation was already built on value creation, not desperation. Now, there's an ancient fable about a dog carrying a bone across a bridge. He looks down into the water and he sees his own reflection and thinks it's another dog with a bigger bone. He snaps at the reflection to grab it. He then drops his actual bone into the river and gets left with nothing as his bone gets swept away downstream. Don't just jump at the reflection in the water without looking closely at what you already hold on shore. Before you make a move, learn to read between the lines, thoroughly explore the pros and the cons, and ask yourself, will moving to the global north actually bring long-term rewards? Or would staying, building a business, and solving a real problem in your local community give you far greater leverage and freedom in the end? Now explore your why. Clarity on your purpose will protect you from emotional impulses. Never make a permanent, life-altering decision to escape a temporary life challenge. If this resonates with you, let's have a real conversation in the comment section and share with someone who seriously needs to take stock, stay grounded, and keep building. Tell us your view in the comment section below. If you've moved abroad, let us know how your experience have been. And if you're contemplating moving abroad, do tell us in the comment section, what is your why for wanting to make that move? So today, we're on a whole new different errand that we're going to be running because we're going to another event. Yes, and this time we will show you when we get there, but just to give you a little heads up of us going. So Keisha is ready, Khalil is ready, Cinnamon is waiting, and Kamika and our Afro are ready. So this is what we're going to take with us, because for this event, Kamika's charity is going to be catering the event, and our taxi is just here now. So we're going to go into it and we will show you. Of course, it's not a black cab, it's just a normal private carriage. So we will go and show you as we go. Oh, Eliona says it's a Tesla private carriage. So we'll see you there.
I just didn't want to, road,
yeah, to be bringing the banks.
So
I'm trying to save my energy because I'm going to do a
Eliona, say hi.
kids event,
okay.
and they need a lot of energy.
I know, yeah.
Yep. So this is our. Khalil, say hi. So it's our first Tesla drive.
Aww.
Yes. Well, it's going smoothly. I need auto belt lock up though.
Okay.
So somebody in the team hear that bit. Yeah. But let's show you. It's looking nice. Looking nice. Like that. And that was our ride. Yep. And we're at our destination. Yep. How was the ride?
Hi.
How was the ride?
It was okay, but I was focusing on cinnamon driving on my phone.
Oh, all right then. And this is the setup color. We just have the salad to come up. I'm going to put the salad up shortly. Your mom is just going to get some lettuce. after today's activity, volunteering and helping others who are in need, how did you feel about it?
It was okay because I helped myself and I want to try
Oh yeah, you guys did go and participate in the activities. Yeah, they did sneak at the end and go do some activities for themselves. So how did you find it, Keisha?
It was good and I want to try this.
Ah. And how about would you guys come back and do it again next summer?
Probably not.
Oh, how about you? You wouldn't? Oh gosh, why is that?
Just
How did you feel about having to be around all those little kids?
it was beyond stimulation. It was terrifying.
You were terrified?
No.
You were first.
Well, I was
Oh.
all the parents and the adults were the same.
One, I don't have to carry anger issues, and two, the little kids are stuck on the
Mine.
cinnamon.
Okay. I think they were just they were enamored by cinnamon, and so they kept coming to want to touch him.
And they kept on barking.
And so he was barking as a result because he too was overstimulated. Okay. So that's how it goes sometimes. But I'm glad that you guys had fun in the end. So, Khalil, would you come back and do it next year? Would you volunteer again next year? Huh? Did you say yes? That's good. So, Lady of the Hour, who was her charity, was catering the event today.
Hi.
So, how did you find it?
Very good.
I think it was so busy. Hey,
It was a nice turnout.
yes, I think so.
He's showing you his charity.
There you go. But I think it was quite good, and the
Yes.
things just moved swiftly.
Swiftly. There were lots of volunteers this year compared to previous years. Because it was in the center, Khalil found it overstimulating. Most of them found it overstimulating. But it's probably just the pace and also cultural differences.
Yeah.
People do things different.
Yeah, and there were lots of different
Lots of
cultures.
young children, which are not their age range, so they'll find it more hyperactive.
Yeah,
I think also because they're used to it being outdoors and it was a transition for the first indoors, and they have less space.
yeah, because I remember when we volunteered before, it was out in the park.
It was still quite big, and in terms of spaciousness, and they sort of had different stalls the same as they did outside, so they kind of tried to replicate it inside. But I'm really grateful that she did put the effort into continuing it because it was going to be the last one of the last year, and we decided to pull together and come together to carry it on because it's a good day out for the children.
Yeah, and especially in the summer holidays.
Yes, because they don't have a lot to do, and they also, and not a lot of people can go away on holidays.
Yeah, and that's
Because
just
it's
the
quite
reality.
expensive, yeah, because once the school's out, the fare tickets go up, and we saw a lot of the parents had multiple children, so for them to fly out, it would be very costly.
Yeah,
Then book hotel. So I think it's a really nice family day where they do little things, but it makes huge memory.
yeah, it's good.
Care.
So they just came to this hall to do it then, at
Oh
this
no,
hall.
this is the center.
Okay.
So they relocated from the one that they were at.
Oh,
before.
because this
So
is not the
that's
one I know.
center, yeah.
Okay then.
They
That's
had
fine.
two lots because they couldn't get a big building like they had before. But they've only moved down to here because a lot of the groups that they used to go at the other centre, which is 2 streets away from here, they were for older children. So because of the age range that they now have, they just compact everything in one area.
Okay. Well, it's quite nice. It's good to know.
Very homely as well. They do other events and different organisations in the building. They have their set section that they use.
Okay. Well, it's good that you are participating in things like this because we need to recognize that there are families living here in the UK just like they do in Canada
Or living on
and the US, pretty much, and some below it.
Below it,
even with assistance and aid from government
Very
organizations.
stretched, and not a lot of people will be able to use £10 to do a lot because it depends on your upbringing and how resourceful you had to be. With us, it comes naturally because we had to be very resourceful throughout
Yeah.
our years in life for all 5 of us to be able to adapt and have. So it comes a lot easier than, and also we have wisdom from heaven that teaches you to multiply.
Exactly.
And be fruitful.
Exactly.
So what we could see bread, flour, and see bread and cake and blueberry muffin and all of that. Someone else just see bread or flour. But we could see the
And somebody else is scratching their heads. What do I do with this?
So we use the basic stuff to make good memory. Even the waffle was just going, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's just flour and some essence and blueberries and just improvise. But I think for them too, it's a memory. It's core memory.
Yeah.
The Tambola went really well. Eliona could contest to that. We got lots of prizes. I
Yeah.
didn't participate because of the fee and the gambling aspect, but I do know for them it's very different.
Yeah. Well, it's all good, and I'm glad that we had the day out.
And also it's a little fundraiser for them to raise that, because you saw even the stuff they gave them out was
Well, for
far
the
beyond the £1 ticket that they
yeah,
bought.
the Tambola,
Even
I
if
think
you win 3 gifts, you already win £150 just for spending £3.
Definitely, definitely.
It was a good turnout in terms of volunteer and donors, and we still had surplus, which is great.
And as you say, as a grown-up, we weren't going to participate in it.
Yeah.
But they're children still, so
They
it
understand
was,
the principle, but also it's fun for them.
yes, and they understand that we don't participate in gambling. So it was fun
And
day
we went
for everybody.
Full hand, and we're leaving full hand. We also got stuff given for us to take back.
Yeah, she got that
So I'm very grateful, and we still have tons of stuff
that we're taking back
Yeah.
that weren't used up. So that's all good.
Yeah, and also, so if you want to contribute towards any of the work that we're doing here in the UK, I do work island-wide in Jamaica and in other African countries as well. It's Kala's Salapis Foundation, and you can find us on Google. And the charity that we're partnershiping here with now, it's called Shepherd's Bush Project. It's in Askew Road in London, and they also have a website for Instagram page that you can use to donate to them if you wish, because it's mainly donation basis.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You take care now. Bye. Nice seeing you.
It's an amazing day today in London, and coming out and representing and giving back is something that is really amazing. And I'm glad that I got to come back and get to do that for this summer holiday, because we didn't get to do it last year because we were busy with so many things that we needed to resolve and needed to do. And so this year we have a little bit more time on our hands, so we made it a plan that we were going to come to London and go and do some of these charitable projects that Kamika's charity is involved in. So it's Talapis Foundation, and if you want to support it, you can go ahead and do that online and support. But it's just to give you an idea as well of some of the things that happens in the UK and in other global north countries that oftentimes aren't showcased on social media or televised, but these are the realities of
And it
life.
helps to improve quality of life.
It does.
Core memory for children.
And it gives them exposure that they would not otherwise have, because of the challenges that families are having to go through. That's it. So this is part of it, and we wanted to share some of it with you. So we thank you for coming along on the journey as we showcase some of the realities of foreign to you. So that was a wrap, and we're on our way back. So it was a blast and a fantastic day, and it's a privilege to be able to do good for others, especially when you're blessed enough to be able to do that. So
The Jam Fam family. We're Irie, living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. Jam Fam, come hang with me. The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me, yeah.
thank you so much for staying with us here on this another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. We appreciate having you, and we appreciate having these conversations and talking about these issues that really deserve to be discussed. So until next time, we want to say do take care, and remember, walk good.